This time on Fliptv News, the headlines. No cases in Nigeria, we are monitoring situation, says NCDC. 7 inmates rearraigned after gunmen attacked Just Correctional Center, says the police. Rwanda suspends direct flights with Southern African over new COVID-19 variant. Minister of State for Labour, Festus Keyamo, says Twitter has agreed to FG's conditions. Good afternoon. I am Shijola Afolabi. Welcome to Fliptv News. Now, news in details. Brown and Whiskey's relationship sketches back to 2012. Whiskey also met his partner manager Jada Pallock through Chris Brown. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has stated that there are no cases of Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus in the country, and the body with the Federal Ministry of Health are monitoring the situation of the virus. This was contained in a statement signed by the NCDC Director General Ifedayo Adetifa on Monday, stating that the variant was first identified after tests were carried out on travelers returning from West Africa. NCDC has also noted that the rate of the spread of the Omicron variant makes it highly transmittable, but added that so far claims that it is resistant to vaccine are not proven. The statement reads in part, the FMOH and NCDC is monitoring emerging evidence on this new variant and its implication to inform Nigeria's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The variant was first identified from the testing done on 9th November 2021 in Botswana on travelers from West Africa. It was reported to WHO on the identification of the cases among a cluster of young unvaccinated people in South Africa on November 24, 2021. While this variant has so far not been detected in Nigeria, a number of cases have now been reported in the UK, Israel, Botswana, Hong Kong, Germany, Belgium, Italy, and counting. However, no deaths have been attributed to the new variant, yet a total of 126 genomes of this variant have been detected globally and published in GSAID. GSAID is a global mechanization of sharing sequencing data. Given the high number of mutations in present Omicron variant and exponential rise in COVID-19 cases observed in South Africa, this virus is considered highly transmissible and may also present an increased risk of reinfection compared to other VOCs. However, the fears about its ability to evade protective immune responses and or its being vaccine resistant are only theoretical so far. This virus can still be detected with the existing polymerase chain reaction test. The WHO and researchers across the world are working at speed to gain an understanding of the likely impact of this variant on the severity of the COVID-19 and on the potency of existing vaccines and therapeutics. The NCDC urged the states to ensure that the simple collection and testing are made easily available for travelers and might have symptoms to get tested quickly. It's also urged Nigeria to strictly adhere to all public health guidelines to prevent a spread of the COVID-19 virus. The NCDC continues to ensure daily review of surveillance data and uses to inform public health decision making. Therefore, we urge all states to ensure that sample collection and testing are accessible so that travelers, people with symptoms or who have been exposed to COVID-19 cases get tested promptly. Considering the highly likely increased transmissibility of the Omicron variant and its emergence that is linked to unmediated community transmission of the virus, the NCDC urges Nigerians to ensure strict adherence to the proven public health and social measures in place, which are unforeseeable by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 through the COVID-19 Health Protection Regulations 2021. The statement added. The Plateau State Police Command has said that a total of 7 inmates have escaped from the Jos Correctional Center after gunmen attacked the facility on Sunday have been rearrested. The spokesman of the command, Uba Ogaba, who confirmed the development in a statement on Sunday night, said on 28/11/2020 at about 17:20 hours, the medium security custodial center in Jos came under attack by yet to be identified gunmen where some inmates escaped. Upon receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police, Plateau State Command, CPA Bartholomew N. Onyeka, who led enforcement to the scene, directed that they ensure the entire center be condoned. He continued, the CPA also directed inmates stop and research where 7 escapees have been rearrested by the police and are in custody, while 1 escapee voluntarily surrendered himself to the police. Based on the prompt response, the situation was brought under control by the superior gunfire of security agencies. Rwanda has temporarily suspended direct flights from southern African countries to concerns over the new COVID-19 variant Omicron. This was contained in cabinet communique issued by the Office of the Prime Minister on Monday. The decision was taken after an extraordinary cabinet meeting on Rwanda's response to the Omicron variant chaired by President Paul Kagame, according to the communique. While the variant has not been detected in Rwanda, its effects are potentially dangerous and before Rwandans residents of Rwanda are required to exercise. Therefore, Rwandans and residents of Rwanda are required to exercise extra vigilance in the practice of the enforcement of preventive measures, the communique said. A 7-day quarantine at own cost will be required to passengers traveling from or those with a recent traveling history to the affected countries, it said. All arriving passengers must quarantine for 24 hours at a designated hotel at their own cost, it added. According to the communique, a COVID-19 PCR test will be taken upon arrival at own cost, and an additional test covered by the government of Rwanda taken on that day 7 from the arrival date at a designated testing site. People attending events or gatherings, including conferences, concerts, weddings, and festivals or exhibitions, must be fully vaccinated and tested, the communique said. It added that the gatherings should take place outdoors or in a well-ventilated spaces as much as possible. It also urged Rwandans to get fully vaccinated, frequently tested, and continuing being vigilant in practicing COVID-19 preventive measures. The Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has revealed that the microblogging platform Twitter has agreed to all conditions presented to it by the federal government regarding its states of operations in Nigeria. This follows a dialogue between the federal government's team and Twitter in the wake of the suspension of the social media platform in Nigeria by the government over allegations of double standards, among others. This was disclosed by Keyamo while appearing on the channel's television program Sunday Politics, which was monitored by Nairametrics. Keyamo, who is also a member of the operations of the microblogging platform since its ban in the country, pointed out that the committee has been made significant progress so far. Keyamo on the statement said the reason why the president took that step is to recalibrate our relationship with Twitter and not to drive them away from our country. That recalibration, we have started it, and the president graciously added me to the committee. We are also set up a technical committee to interface with the Twitter and come up with a lot of conditions for them to fulfill for us to lift the suspension. It was Twitter that reached out to the federal government to say they want to know what they can do to straighten up the relationship with the federal government, and so we have gone far, but I may not at this forum let out a lot, but we gave them. For anyone who missed out on being too young in the Senna and post era, this is it. This is what you missed out on, says Sky. F1's Anthony Davidson penultimate round of season this week at the new Saudi Arabian street track. Sunday's race live on Sky Sports F1 at 5:30 p.m. Formula One's gripping Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton world title draw will finally be settled over the course of the next fortnight, and the rivalry that has defined the season already ranks up there with the sport's most famous, according to the Sky F1's Anthony Davidson. After 8 months of drama, unpredictability, and increasing tension, 2021's world champion will either be crowned at this week's inaugural Saudi Arabian GP, where Verstappen could clinch its maiden crown if Hamilton endures a difficult weekend, or at next week's season finale in Abu Dhabi in what